All right, and we are live, and welcome everyone to another edition of Robbie and Brandon. Well, our original title is Robbie and Brandon Review, but today it's Robbie and Brandon Preview because today we're going to be previewing WWE 2K17. And of course, joining me is my boy, my brother from another mother, Brandon. How you doing tonight, B?
Great, Robbie. Great to be back, and I'm very excited to preview what we're going to be previewing.
Definitely, definitely. So without any further ado, well, actually, Brandon, before we get to that, there is a bit of breaking news. I'm not sure if you heard this. I don't mind me to put a damper on the video, but it appears one of our favorite wrestlers may not be appearing on tomorrow night's No Mercy card, and you're actually wearing the shirt of that person. I don't know if
Yeah,
Yes, but for those that may not have heard, it's been reported that Becky Lynch may be out of action for a month with an undisclosed injury, and they may be pulling her from the No Mercy card tomorrow night, which really sucks because that's Brandon's favorite women's wrestler. She's one of mine as well, and I'm going to No Mercy tomorrow night, and I was really looking forward to seeing her in person. So, Brandon, real quick, how bad is this situation? With Becky being the champion and the state of the SmackDown Women's Division. What are your thoughts on this?
if they're gonna keep the championship on her despite this injury, then great. But man, at the same time, I'm just fearing in the back of my head, like this girl just can't catch a break.
Yeah,
If they make her give up the championship, it would just be a total lost cause. This woman worked so hard over the last year, ever since she made it to the main roster to win a championship. And I've said when the new brand split began, the biggest beneficiary of this, one of them anyway, is Becky Lynch, especially if they got a SmackDown Women's title, which they did. But, if she's going to be out for any significant amount of time, you don't have many women on that roster. Um, it's really not much of a division when you only have like six people in there, and to lose Becky Lynch for any amount of time, that's very, very devastating.
it's unfortunate. Like I said, I was really looking forward to seeing her wrestle live because I haven't seen her wrestle live. I didn't even get to see her at NXT during WrestleMania 31 weekend. So it's very unfortunate, especially because she's a champion. And now, like you said, will she relinquish the championship because she's going to be out of action for a month? Do they have like I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow because they already have Nikki Bella versus Carmella signed. Unless they want to add Alexa Bliss and make it a triple threat to see who gets another shot. Like I don't know. And thinking about it, like just thinking about it right now, Finn. It's unfortunate Finn Balor got injured, and now his fellow countrywoman, Becky Lynch is injured. I don't know what the extent of the injury is, but it would be very unfortunate if Becky had to relinquish her title too, and the two proud Irish, Irish superstars had to relinquish their belts due to injury. I mean, it's very unfortunate. Um, I don't know what's gonna happen. So we do send our best regards and best well wishes to Becky Lynch. We hope to see her back soon. We'll see. Like I said, she's gonna be watching No Mercy tomorrow. I'll be there live in Sacramento, so we'll see what happens. But not trying to put a damper on things. We're here to talk some video games in a positive light. So let's get right down to it. WWE 2K17 comes out this Tuesday for PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Brandon, what are your thoughts about the game with everything that's been announced from the beginning? What are your thoughts on the game going into Tuesday's release day?
Well, first of all, the release date for this one for 2K17 is definitely earlier than what we usually get, because the WWE games come out usually at the end of the month. And this time it's the beginning of the month, which I'm happy about.
Yeah,
But so far, I've liked what I've seen. I am still kind of disappointed that we're not getting 2K Showcase mode in this year's game. But the roster I'm very excited for. They really loaded it up with a lot of NXT talent, and the wrestlers look great. I've seen a lot of the entrances, and they look great. And the my career, I kind of want to talk about that because in my career, you can either stay in NXT like after you're done in the Performance Center, or you can completely forego NXT and become a Paul Heyman guy, which I would definitely want to be a Paul Heyman guy. And they've expanded on universe mode. I don't really play around with universe mode, but this one kind of excites me because they allow you to start brand split when they didn't have the SmackDown Women's Championship or the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, but you can easily go in and create that
Yeah.
and make a Raw and a SmackDown. And the arenas, as usual, they look great. And the WrestleMania 31 arenas in the daytime, which is really cool. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm the past 3 years I've been very excited for the WWE 2K games. Even though 2K15 was very lackluster, I feel like 2K14 and 2K16 are the two best entries in the series so far. I'm not too excited for 2K17 because, like you said, we love the 2K Showcase mode, and this year there isn't a 2K Showcase mode. So for like us who don't have an Xbox One or a PS4, we're stuck with pretty much the universe mode. And I've never, universe mode, I started playing it in 2K14, but the problem was, for some reason, all my booked feuds and whatnot, I didn't lose my game data didn't get erased, but like for some reason the feuds and rivalries I would build in the universe mode wouldn't stay intact, and that mode got frustrated. And honestly, like the roster, I'm very excited for. I'm happy to see AJ Styles, Apollo Crews, Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, Nia Jax, the Revival, American Alpha. I'm happy to see a lot of great talent featured in this game, making their video game debuts. A lot of them, like you said, from NXT. But the thing is, like, I'm not gonna go out and on the first day and buy the game because, like I said, if I'm gonna pay my $60, I want something that's gonna keep me playing it, like the 2K Showcase modes. Like last year's Showcase mode was brilliant with Stone Cold Steve Austin and all the extra matches you got to play along the way. I thought that was great. And then there were the extra bonus objectives where you can unlock more things. I loved it, and I was really hoping. Remember, we were talking about it. Like they could have done an NXT mode. They could have done the 4 Horsewomen. I think they were trying to do Brock Lesnar, but they couldn't get like all of his opponents, so they just stopped. So what would you have preferred, Brandon, if there wasn't going to be a 2K Showcase mode? What would you have preferred to make up for it?
I would have loved to seen the Who Got NXT mode back from WWE 2K15 old gen version.
Yeah.
I have WWE 2K15 on the Xbox 360, and I played through Who Got NXT, and I was very, very impressed with it. And you're just, again, 2K17, you're loaded with so many NXT superstars that I could think for days who I would want to pick for my Who Got NXT mode. I put Shinsuke Nakamura. I'd probably put, let's see, Bailey. I would put in, who else? The Revival. Like, get a little tag team thrown in there because 2K15 didn't really have that. And yeah, I just think there are so many possibilities if they did bring back Who Got NXT mode.
Definitely. I would have really liked to have seen a 4 Horsewomen mode, especially after what Bailey and Sasha did at Brooklyn and Takeover Respect, and then what Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha did on WrestleMania at WrestleMania 32 in that incredible triple threat match. But I will give 2K17 credit for what they're doing with the roster. I'm happy for who's been included. I really like the DLC. We'll get to the DLC in a little bit. But I'm happy that a few other names, big names, are included in the DLC. I just feel like this year's game. See, if you don't have a PS4 and Xbox One like us, all you're gonna get is the universe mode and the traditional gameplay modes. Which if it's like me and 4 or 5 other guys, then yeah, we're gonna have a ton of fun doing multiplayer. But if it's just me playing solo, unless I've got the showcase mode, I might just get bored real easily. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rent it, and then if I really really like it, I'll buy it. And if not, then at least I got to play it. But what else about the game, Brandon, stands out to you the most? Because you seem to like it a little more than me.
See, I'm saying all this being the fact that I very well may upgrade to a PS4 or an Xbox One or even a PC because I know that they put the WWE games on the PC, and again, what they have going for the new gen version, I'm very excited for. But you're right, for guys like us that have either a PS3 or an Xbox 360, the game's going to get old really, really fast. And you know, I just think the last gen version is very, very limited
Yeah,
because when we played like 12 through 16, we had the 2K showcase that occupied us, but now we don't really have that. And universe mode, again, I don't really play around with that. So I'm with you. I'm definitely not getting it on last gen the day it comes out. I probably not won't even get it last gen period
yeah.
because I really want to see if I can get a PS4 and Xbox One. But so in a nutshell, the last gen version, I'm not very excited for, but new gen, I definitely want to try and get.
Yeah, yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, it's just like I feel like last year's 2K16. Well, the thing, 2K17 on PS3, that's the last, and Xbox 360, that's the last 2K title in WWE series. It's going to be available on last gen consoles. After that, with 2K18, they're only going to be exclusive to the new gen. So I feel like, what, last year, 2K16, I just loved that game so much, and we did a video on it back in the beginning of the year, where we reviewed 2K16. I feel like 2K16 just gave us so much and then some, especially making up after that lackluster 2K15, which just was good but could have been much better, and I feel like was underwhelming. But this year they have P Diddy in charge of the music, and honestly, I feel like last year's soundtrack was a lot better than what they have to offer this year.
I agree 100%. The only song that I'm familiar with out of the entire 2K17 soundtrack is Paranoid by Black Sabbath.
Hmm.
Everything else I'm really not familiar with, but 2K16 soundtrack was downright incredible, but 2K17 soundtrack I'm not really a fan of. It's like 2K15.
Yeah,
2K15 soundtrack was really bad.
yeah. I mean, "Bad Boy for Life" by Diddy. That song fit great in the commercial, the trailer for 2K17. I'm fine with that song being on the soundtrack, but the rest of the songs I've never heard. I haven't heard any of them. I mean, last year soundtrack, which is incredible. So many great songs they listened to from so many different artists. Yeah. So as you can see, guys, I feel like the even numbered 2K releases get a better presentation and everything. They get better. They have better quality. And then I feel like the odd number 2K series for WWE aren't as good. Like, can't live up to to its predecessor. Like, the roster is huge. It's bigger than last year. I give them credit for that. I like what they're doing with the My Career mode. You can skip NXT, become a Paul Heyman guy, or you can start from the bottom with NXT, make your way up. Um, I like that. I just want to see some new things, and I was really hoping, like with 2K17 being on last gen consoles, that they would have gave us a special bonus mode, like a Who Got NXT or a Four Horsewomen showcase mode or something like that. Um, so let's talk about some DLC real quick. So, what are your thoughts, Brandon, on Goldberg being announced as the pre-order a few months ago?
Well, obviously, it gives us a clue that Goldberg may be coming back to WWE. But the Goldberg pre-order bonus, I'm okay with. He was originally in WWE 2K14 as just a normal character that you can play as, but I feel that they really want to try to market this game around Goldberg for his eventual WWE return, which I think will happen.
Yeah.
And then plus you get two other arenas with the pre-order bonus, so I was okay with it.
Yeah. It's when I found out about it, I didn't think it was a bad choice, but I wasn't all excited for it because, like you said, Goldberg we could easily unlock in 2K14 by completing the WrestleMania 20 match in 30 years of WrestleMania mode. And I was thinking, well, and remember, we were starting to debate, we were starting to think about who could be DLC or who could be the pre-order bonus, and we went from AJ Styles to Austin Aries to Nakamura. And of course, AJ's on the main roster of the game. Nakamura and Aries are part of they're part of DLC, which is cool. But Goldberg, I mean, I love Goldberg. He's one of my favorites. I was a big fan of his growing up. Um, I would probably use him more than I used Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm starting to think maybe I should have never pre-ordered 2K16 because I've only played as the Terminators each once. So I think Goldberg's maybe a better pre-order bonus simply because it's Goldberg. I know I'd use him more than the Terminator. Um, so with that said, what do you think of Brock Lesnar being the cover star?
I think it's great, and I think they've done an excellent job. With all the commercials and everything, and I really love when IGN put out all the pictures of Suplex City and giving people clues on who was in the game and who could be in the game and whatever. And
Yes.
the trailers featuring Brock Lesnar have been great. So yeah, I think he's an excellent choice as the cover athlete.
Yeah, I was gonna say I played the actual interactive map game on WWE 2K's website. I thought that was a great way to promote it for people to find out who was in the game. Because basically what it does is you have five different parts of um, five different areas of Suplex City, which looks like this apocalyptic wasteland, which is awesome. And you'll see these little things like maybe an Asuka mask or a flying goat, and you put those together, you figure out it's Daniel Bryan, obviously the flying goat, the mask belongs to Asuka. That's how you find out who's in the game. I thought that was a very unique way to promote it. That was very clever. I pretty much found everybody except for two people. I couldn't find Big E, even though I knew he was in the game. I just didn't know what his symbol was, and it was somebody else that was missing. But that was a lot of fun. And the one commercial I really like, Brandon, is the one where it starts with Seth Rollins on the roof, and then you go through Suplex City, like you go through the Bro Kick Saloon. That was really cool because that's what I feel like Suplex City would be.
Yeah, definitely. And again, and Paul Heyman's narration from the initial trailer was great, and just all the little pieces of B-roll that they used in the trailer from the game was great, and yeah, they've just done an excellent job presenting it overall.
Yeah, yeah. So the promotion has gone well for the game. We'll see how it turns out. Like Brandon and I will most likely rent it and then give you guys our thoughts, or just we'll just rent it and see how things go from there. But I do want to give 2K Games credit for their DLC because there's a lot of great DLC coming out. We're gonna go through the DLC real quick. First off, we have the Future Stars pack, and this year, this is what a Future Stars pack should be. Not last year where we got Samoa Joe, who's the only real Future Star of that pack, and then the four other guys offered were guys that we're not really gonna want to play as. I mean, remember Los Matadores, who were already on the main roster, being offered as DLC. I mean, I don't understand who came up with that idea, but this year we've got Austin Aries, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Mojo Rawley, and Ty Dillinger. That's a Future Stars pack in a nutshell right there.
Indeed, it's. I'm definitely very excited to play as the Perfect 10.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what his entrance looks like. He's one of the most over guys in NXT, and I think should be on the main roster right now. Playing as the Club, I thought the Club were actually going to be on the disc, but they're not. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Austin Aries, I said he would be a downloadable superstar from the beginning, so I was right about that. And
Yeah.
Mojo Rawley being in there, I'm okay with. So
Yeah.
you can easily create the hype bros.
We pretty much figured that Austin Aries would be DLC. We were unsure about the Club. Mojo Rawley, I'm cool with him as a Future Stars, as being, I'm cool with him being in the Future Stars pack simply because he may not have the greatest gimmick, but I like him. He may not be a world champion, but I like his gimmick and everything. So he's a much better Future Star than Blake Murphy or any of the Matadores, who are now on the freaking roster as Primo and Epico again. So I don't get what the whole idea with that was. Like, that was a fail.
Yeah, the Shining Stars, they got drafted to Raw, which I'm sure that they're continuing to burn out. But the only way that they were going to be saved was if they brought Carlito back, and Carlito hasn't been back. So Yeah, the Shining Stars, completely failed gimmick. Another one from Primo and Epico.
It's unfortunate because I do like Primo and Epico. They're talents. They deserve better than being bullfighters. Um, another thing being offered for DLC this year is the Hall of Fame Showcase, which was first introduced in last year's game. And Brandon, I know you downloaded the 2K16 2015 Hall of Fame showcase, and for the most part, you said it was a great showcase mode. You just wish it was longer.
Yeah, definitely. I wish they could have included more matches from the 2015 Hall of Fame class. I
Yeah,
know they had Randy Savage and Jake Roberts from Tuesday in Texas. I would have liked to have seen, I don't know, maybe Randy Savage and versus Dusty Rhodes from WrestleMania 6. I know they also had Sensational Sherry and Sapphire in there. I would have liked to have seen that. I
yeah.
would have liked to have seen something else from the Bushwhackers. Let's see, another Alundra Blaze match. Maybe even put in Leilani Kai in there, have their match from WrestleMania 10, or Bull Nakano from SummerSlam 94. Even though I like the showcase, there definitely should have been more here, and there should be more in this Hall of Fame showcase. They only have one match per Hall of Fame inductee.
Well, for Sting, there's actually two.
Oh, there is.
Matches, yeah. His match with Ric Flair at Clash of the Champions '88, and his match against Bret Hart from Halloween Havoc 1998, which is funny that the matches are 10 years apart. Okay, now last year they did the dream match between Alundra Blaze and Paige. This year they're doing a very interesting dream match, which is Papa Shango versus The Godfather, which is funny because it's the same guy who played both characters. Um, I just find that interesting. I find it funny. And then for the Big Boss Man, they have his match with the Big Show from Armageddon 1989, which you think they would do another match only because he lost that match or something. I forgot how that match ended, but he didn't end up winning the championship in that match. But I do like that they have a couple fabulous Freebirds matches. A match, one of them actually is against Cactus Jack and Diamond Dallas Page from WCW Saturday Night 1992. But I agree with you. I wish there were a few more matches, maybe 2 matches per Hall of Famer, just to give it a little more depth. But I like the concept of Hall of Fame Showcase because that gets to pay homage to those who go into the Hall of Fame that same year. So I think that's a cool concept. Bring it back, but have maybe 2 or 3 matches per Hall of Famer.
And by the way, that Big Boss Man match with the Big Show, man, could they have picked something better? Because if I can recall, that match sucked. That
Yeah,
match absolutely sucked. And
yeah,
I wouldn't put his Hell in a Cell match with the Undertaker because that was pretty awful.
yeah,
I would have been fine with, I don't know, his match with Mr. Perfect from WrestleMania 7.
yeah, something like that. That Undertaker Boss Man match should have never been Hell in a Cell. It should have just been like a no disqualification match, so they could have just fought, used a couple weapons. That should have never been inside Hell in a Cell. But yeah, moving on with the DLC because Undertaker Boss Man and Hell in a Cell, that's another story for a different day. Um, there's also the Legends Pack, which has been made available the past couple games, and the Legends this year are Brutus Beefcake, Eddie Guerrero, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Psycho Sid, and Tatanka. So what do you think of those picks for the Hall of Fame for the Legends Pack, B?
Very interesting. I'm glad that Greg Valentine is finally in WWE game, his first one since Legends of WrestleMania, which was
Wow.
released in 2009, and you can recreate the Dream Team, him and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I'm excited to see Tatanka in there. I'm very, very excited to play as him. He's hasn't been in a WWE game in freaking ages. I would think since WWF Royal Rumble on the SNES and the Sega Genesis. So it's been a long time for him. Psycho Sid, I'm happy to see him in there. I've always been a Psycho Sid fan, and Eddie Guerrero, of course, everybody loves Eddie, and he's in another WWE game, so I'm happy for that.
Yeah, happy to have Eddie. Of course, it's always great to play as Eddie. But do you feel like he should have just been made available from the start, being that he's been in other games like 2K14 where we got to unlock him? You feel like he should have just been offered right off the bat, and another legend could have been part of the Legends pack?
Most definitely, yeah. Eddie Guerrero deserves to be on the disc, and the fact that he's DLC kind of puzzled me. But yeah, he definitely should have been in the main game.
Yeah, I feel like he should. Yeah, he should have been on the main game, and then maybe for a legend to take his spot in DLC as DLC, you could have done like maybe well they did Mr. Perfect last year, and they're doing Ricky Steamboat as a character on the main game roster. So
Honestly, I would put Bull Nakano.
yes, Bull Nakano because we wanted Bull Nakano since last year when they did the Alundra Blaze showcase.
I would put Bull Nakano.
Bull Nakano or Sensational Sherry or
Wendy Richter.
yes, Wendy.
Just some women's wrestler in there as a DLC for the Legends pack, because you had Lita and Trish Stratus in there last year.
I'm surprised they didn't put China in the Legends pack, but I don't know how they still feel about China following her death and everything. Um, D no, I was about to say DDP, but he's already made available, so I don't know why I put him there. Um, well, anyway, yeah,
What's next? Yeah.
yeah. What I was gonna say was, I'm happy. Like the one legend I'm happy the most for is Psycho Sid because I remember saying like 2 years ago before 2K15 came out that I would love to see Psycho Sid as DLC. Cause I don't recall one game that you could play as him in other than maybe one like I think Royal Rumble or something, but the old Royal Rumble for the SNES. But like I haven't played a Psycho Sid. I've wanted to play Psycho Sid for years, so I'm happy that he's one of the legends in this game. But I don't know if him and Eddie are enough for like me, so per se to download it. But I still think it's cool that um, that Sid is a playable character.
Yeah, the last game that I remember playing as Psycho Sid, it wasn't a WWE game. It was Showdown Legends of Wrestling. It
Uh,
was released for the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, and he was in there as Sid Vicious.
yeah, I remember that game where it had like a bunch of legends. I used to actually remember seeing footage of that game on a show called Cheat, if you remember on the G4 channel.
Yep,
Yeah.
X-Play.
I don't know if it was X Play, but I remember it was called Cheat because the guy, I forgot, Corey, what was his name? Corey Holm or
Uh,
something?
Something like that. I do remember the show Cheat, but I don't remember who was on it.
Yeah. Okay. I just remember that guy was the host. And I remember one time when he opened the show, he said, I passed my SATs thanks to cheating. Because thanks to cheating was the tagline, was the catchphrase of the show. But yeah, anyway, there's also the My Player Kickstart for my career mode, new moves pack, which is always cool. And then there is an NXT pack, which it varies according to what you buy it for. So if you buy it for the PS4, whichever, no matter what system you buy it for, you get Nia Jax, Nakamura, and Apollo Crews. But if you buy it for the PS4, Xbox One, you get a 50% boost in points while competing at NXT in my career mode. And for PS3 and Xbox 360, you get nothing. So yeah, as you can tell, the people on the PS4 and Xbox One are getting a little more for their buck, a little more bang for their buck with the NXT enhancement pack. So that pretty much covers the DLC. So overall, Brandon, with what we've talked about, if there's one thing that you haven't mentioned that you'd like to see in 2K17 for the last gen consoles, what would it be?
If there's anything I would like to see, again, the last gen version is just seems very, very limited, and there's really like no time to really put in new content. Like I really felt that the developers should have just thought out of the box a little bit. If you weren't going to do a Brock Lesnar 2K showcase again, you've pitched the idea many times before. Do a four horsewomen showcase. All of them are in there now. It was a crime that they weren't in 2K16. All of them are in there now. They should have done a 2K showcase centered around the four horsewomen. Also, this has to do with next gen, but in my career, I wish you could have the option to play as a woman and go for the women's championship. I think that'd be really cool.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to get a 2K showcase mode about Brock Lesnar, you could have given us another Who Got NXT mode, especially with, I mean, you got the Revival, American Alpha, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin. You could have done a We Are NXT mode, you know, where you chronicle the rise of NXT. You could have done that. So that's why I feel like this game is very
limited.
Yeah, it's very limited. So that's why this year I didn't pre-order. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna rent it and see what I think. Like, I'm excited to play as guys like AJ, Asuka, Apollo Crews, Nakamura, like I said in the beginning, and the Horsewomen, because I was disappointed the Horsewomen were not in 2K16 at all when they were clearly there was clearly time to add them at the time of when they were making the game. But as far as like other things, I hope we get some more NXT arenas like TakeOver Brooklyn, and well, if that's the only NXT arena we get in addition to like NXT, NXT Arrival again, I'm fine with NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Recreate that magic, recreate that atmosphere. I like to see more retro arenas in the games, like Retro Royal Rumble, Retro SummerSlam, and more
Survivor Series.
Yeah, Retro Survivor Series, and yeah, and make more in your house arenas available, because those were cool to play as in 2K16.
Definitely, and they were also in WWE 2K13 and 14, and I would have liked to see more, what do you say? Yeah, like Retro Royal Rumble arenas. But yeah, they should definitely go more retro, and I think they have some retro arenas unlockable.
Yeah, so we will see, guys, how things play out with WWE 2K17. I know for 2K16, we were very excited for everything that was offered. We reviewed the game. We thought it was an awesome game. We thought it definitely made up for the lackluster 2K15. But this year, guys, we're not so excited for 2K17, mainly because we have last-gen consoles and we're not getting much. There's not much new being offered. But, of course, if you have a new gen, you're getting the My Career mode, which is very in-depth. You have the chance to become a Paul Heyman guy. So we will see. We will rent it, and who knows, maybe we'll do a Robbie and Brandon review after we rent the game, and we'll go from there. But, Brandon, is there anything else you want to say about 2K17 or anything else you want to say in general about wrestling news?
I'm just hoping for the best for Becky Lynch.
Yep.
I'm excited for No Mercy tomorrow night. I still think it's going to be a good show. I thought that SmackDown had the better pay-per-view last month with Backlash. I thought it was better than Clash of Champions, and I think the triple threat match is going to be fun. And yeah, follow me on Twitter at TheGamerMan16. Subscribe to me on YouTube, The Wrestling Fan 16. And yeah, just 2K17. I'm not going to be getting it the day it comes out. I'll see if I can rent it from Redbox or somewhere. Yeah, just overall, 2K17, just not really all that hype for it.
Yeah, I have to agree. I love 2K14 and 2K16, and this game had potential. We were wondering what it would be. We thought about the possibilities for this game months ago, and honestly, when I found out there was no 2K Showcase mode this year, I was like, I don't know if this game's worth buying. Maybe it's worth renting. We'll find out. But to elaborate on something you said, with No Mercy tomorrow, yeah, Backlash was definitely the better pay-per-view. I mean, Clash of Champions left me so frustrated. That's why I didn't watch Raw last week on Monday. That's why, that's why I didn't watch Raw last week at all, because I felt like I watched Raw through that pay-per-view. Nothing on that show got me excited for anything. Backlash ended on a more exciting note with AJ, of course, winning the championship, and Becky winning her women's championship, and Beauty and the Man Beast claiming the tag titles. So I definitely am excited, for No Mercy. I'm going to be there tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing AJ Styles live in person, and, of course, get well wishes going to Becky Lynch. I think this really sucks. This couldn't have come at a worse time for her, especially that she's the champion and she was going into her first big pay-per-view title defense against Alexa Bliss. we'll see what happens. But yeah, like Brandon said, 2K17, not really worth all the hype. Nothing really to be excited for. We'll just see how things play out. And with that said, I think we are going to call it a day with today's edition of Robbie and Brandon preview. We do hope to we will be reviewing another game sometime soon. We are thinking of doing a three-man review of Super Mario World with my good friend Daniel Geyser. That'd be great. But actually, Brandon, I was thinking maybe the next edition can be a Capcom versus crossover series, talking about maybe a two-parter, talking about the Capcom games that came out, like Marvel versus Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do.
And Capcom versus SNK, yeah, I think that'd be really really fun to do. And I'm looking forward to it most definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely love Marvel versus Capcom in those games.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. So that'll do it for Robbie and Brandon preview. Thank you all for watching and listening. Leave your comments down below and let us know what you think of WWE 2K17. Are you excited? Will you buy the game? What are you most looking forward to? Who are you most looking forward to playing as? Don't forget to subscribe to Brandon's channel and make sure you subscribe to mine as well. And like this video and share it amongst your friends. And be sure to join us next time for Robbie and Brandon review when we take a special look at the Capcom crossover games, which include the X-Men and Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter games, Marvel vs. Capcom, and even Capcom versus SNK. So Brandon, thanks again for joining me. It was fun. Thanks for your extra time. And until next time, guys, it's Robbie One Kenobi signing off. And make sure to check out my channel for any No Mercy related videos. I may do a short review, I'm not sure, but keep your eyes open. I'll have some kind of content. And with that said, this is Robbie and Brandon signing off. Everybody have a good day, good night, and enjoy No Mercy tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.